Most people imagine a former US president retiring to a quiet ranch, simple, calm, and symbolic. But George W. Bush's Texas farm hides something far bigger. Beneath open fields sit underground bunkers, private power plants, and systems worth tens of millions of dollars. This is not a hobby ranch, it is a multi-billion-dollar operation. Stay until the end to discover the single feature that turns this farm into a secret White House backup. Prairie Chapel Ranch, not a retirement home, but a billion-dollar farm. When most people hear that George W. Bush retired to a ranch in Texas, they imagine a quiet life surrounded by open land, horses, and sunsets. But the reality behind Prairie Chapel Ranch, a 1,583-acre property in Crawford, Texas, tells a far more complex and calculated story. Because this land was never designed as a simple retirement escape, it was built as a multi-layered agricultural, security, and operational compound valued in the billions of dollars. From the very beginning, the ranch rejected the idea of visible luxury, no gold-plated gates or palace-style architecture. Instead, every dollar was invested into systems that work silently, efficiently, and permanently. At first glance, the main residence appears modest compared to billionaire mansions, yet beneath the surface lies a carefully engineered ecosystem that functions more like a national-level agricultural enterprise than a private home. The land itself, valued conservatively at over $15 million, is only the starting point, because the real value comes from what was built into it. Underground infrastructure, autonomous energy systems, water independence, and security capabilities that rival government facilities. Experts estimate that once construction, technology, and long-term systems are included, the ranch represents a total asset value well above $500 million, with long-term operational impact pushing its strategic worth into billion-dollar territory. This ranch was designed to serve three roles at once: a personal residence, a secure command location, and a fully functioning agricultural operation, all running simultaneously without outside dependence. Energy is produced on-site through geothermal and solar installations worth tens of millions of dollars, eliminating reliance on public grids and cutting operating costs by tens of thousands of dollars every year, while water systems capture and store every drop of rainfall in underground tanks holding hundreds of thousands of gallons, infrastructure comparable to municipal water facilities and valued at several million dollars alone. These systems allow the ranch to operate continuously even during droughts, blackouts, or emergencies. Unlike symbolic presidential retreats, Prairie Chapel Ranch was engineered as a self-sustaining command-grade property. During Bush's presidency, it functioned as an alternative operational base, equipped with secure communication systems, hardened underground structures, and controlled access zones, features that required millions of dollars in reinforced construction, not for show, but for resilience. Every acre serves a purpose: rotated grazing zones, organic crop production, wildlife management, and logistical access points, all contributing to a system that behaves more like a privately owned national asset than a family farm. What makes this place truly different is that nothing here exists for decoration. Every dollar spent creates leverage, efficiency, or independence, which is why Prairie Chapel Ranch is not remembered as a retirement home, but as one of the most strategically designed private farms in modern American history. If this hidden side of presidential wealth surprised you, leave a comment below and tell me which feature shocked you the most, because in the next part, we will go underground and reveal the security systems that turn this ranch into a silent fortress. Energy independence, geothermal plus solar at presidential scale. What truly elevates Prairie Chapel Ranch from an impressive farm into a strategic asset is not what stands above the ground, but what operates silently beneath it, because this entire property was engineered to function without depending on public utilities, starting with a geothermal energy system valued at more than $10 million, one of the most advanced ever installed on a privately owned ranch in the United States. Deep beneath the Texas soil, underground loops circulate fluid through stable earth temperatures, allowing the ranch to maintain consistent heating and cooling throughout the year without relying on fossil fuels or external power sources. A system powerful enough to regulate the main residence, guest houses, agricultural facilities, and operational buildings simultaneously. This geothermal setup does more than provide comfort. It fundamentally changes the economics of the property by eliminating traditional heating and cooling costs, The ranch saves between $40,000 and $60,000 every year in energy expenses, a figure that compounds over decades, turning what looks like a costly installation into a long-term financial advantage. More importantly, this system ensures uninterrupted operation during extreme weather events, heat waves, or grid failures, making the ranch resilient in scenarios where surrounding areas could lose power entirely. Geothermal energy alone, however, is only one layer of the design. Above ground, Prairie Chapel Ranch is supported by a large-scale solar power installation worth approximately $15 million, integrated carefully into barns, service structures, and open land to preserve the natural landscape while maximizing energy output. These solar arrays generate more electricity than the ranch consumes on a daily basis, creating a surplus that is routed back into the local grid, effectively transforming the ranch into a small private power plant rather than a passive consumer of energy. In practical terms, this means the property not only covers its own electrical needs but also offsets regional demand, a rare achievement for a private residence of any kind. To ensure full autonomy, the energy system includes industrial-grade battery storage units costing several $million, capable of storing excess electricity and supplying power for extended periods if external grids fail. This allows the ranch to function independently during blackouts, storms, or emergencies without any visible disruption to daily operations. Combined, the geothermal system, solar arrays, and battery storage create an energy loop that is closed, efficient, and entirely self-sustaining, a setup more commonly associated with military installations or critical infrastructure facilities. When evaluated as a whole, Prairie Chapel Ranch operates less like a home and more like a controlled energy ecosystem, producing, storing, and distributing power with precision. The total investment in renewable energy infrastructure alone exceeds $25 million, yet the true value lies in what that spending achieves: complete energy independence, predictable long-term costs, and operational security that cannot be purchased through conventional utilities. This is why the ranch is not just environmentally forward-thinking, but financially strategic, proving that energy independence, when designed correctly, becomes one of the most valuable assets any ultra-high net worth property can possess. Water control, rainwater system bigger than small cities. What truly separates Prairie Chapel Ranch from ordinary large farms is the way water is treated not as a utility, but as a controlled strategic resource, because every single drop of rain that falls on the property is captured, processed, and reused through a system that rivals municipal infrastructure rather than private land management. Across the entire 1,583-acre ranch, roofs, barns, residential buildings, and operational structures are connected by a sealed network of gutters and underground channels designed to collect rainfall with near-total efficiency, preventing runoff loss and soil erosion while maximizing long-term water security. Once captured, the water does not simply flow into basic tanks. Instead, it is routed into massive underground cisterns with a combined capacity exceeding 400,000 gallons, structures that required extensive excavation, reinforced concrete, and multi-layer filtration systems to meet both agricultural and residential standards. The construction cost of this underground storage alone is estimated at between $5 million and $7 million, placing it well beyond what even most luxury estates would consider practical. Yet for this ranch, it functions as a critical backbone that allows complete independence from external water suppliers. Before being used, all collected rainwater passes through a multi-stage purification process involving mechanical filtration, sediment separation, and biological treatment, ensuring it can safely support irrigation, livestock operations, and residential use. Beyond engineered filtration, the ranch incorporates constructed wetlands valued at approximately $3 million, which act as living purification systems. These wetlands, slow water flow, remove contaminants naturally, recharge groundwater, and create a stable micro-ecosystem that supports native plants and wildlife. Unlike decorative water features, these wetlands are designed with precise gradients, vegetation selection, and flow controls that mirror systems used by regional water authorities. The complexity of this setup is striking because the ranch effectively operates its own private watershed management department, complete with monitoring, redundancy, and long-term sustainability planning. Sensors track water levels, quality, and seasonal inflow, allowing adjustments to be made in real time, a level of oversight more commonly seen in county-level water resource agencies rather than privately owned land. This system ensures that even during prolonged Texas droughts, when surrounding farms face restrictions or total water loss, Prairie Chapel Ranch continues operating without disruption. From a financial perspective, the water system eliminates the need for municipal supply contracts, emergency trucking, or groundwater over-extraction, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars over time, while protecting land value by preserving soil health and crop reliability. More importantly, it safeguards one of the most critical assets any agricultural operation can have: predictability. When water availability is guaranteed, production planning becomes stable, risk decreases, and long-term land value increases significantly. In total, the ranch's water infrastructure represents an investment of over $10 million, yet its real worth lies in resilience rather than luxury. It transforms rainfall from an uncontrollable variable into a managed asset, ensuring that the ranch can function year-round regardless of climate volatility. This is not excess, it is foresight, and it demonstrates how extreme wealth, when applied strategically, can build systems that outlast market cycles, weather patterns, and even generations. The hidden bunker, presidential security underground. What truly shifts Prairie Chapel Ranch from an advanced private estate into a national-level security asset is what lies beneath the ground, because hidden below the Texas soil is a presidential bunker engineered to Secret Service standards, designed not for comfort, but for survival and command continuity. While the surface of the ranch projects openness and simplicity, underground exists a hardened facility capable of protecting George W. Bush during extreme emergencies, transforming the ranch into what insiders once described as a functional backup White House. The construction of this bunker required moving thousands of tons of earth, followed by the installation of reinforced concrete walls engineered to withstand shock, pressure, and prolonged isolation. Security analysts estimate the total construction cost at between $20 million and $40 million, placing it far beyond the scope of even most billionaire private shelters. This was not a vanity project, but a government-grade structure built to ensure uninterrupted leadership in scenarios ranging from natural disasters to national security threats. Inside, the bunker operates as a fully independent environment, with its own power generation systems separate from the ranch's surface grid. These systems ensure continuous electricity even if external infrastructure fails, while redundant backup units provide layered reliability. Air filtration is handled by sealed, military-grade systems designed to maintain breathable air for extended periods, protecting occupants from environmental hazards and airborne contaminants. Communication lines inside the bunker connect securely to national and global networks, allowing encrypted contact with military, intelligence, and government leadership without reliance on public systems. What makes the bunker particularly effective is how completely it is concealed. The entrance is fully camouflaged into the natural landscape, with no visible markings, doors, or structures that would draw attention even at close range. From above, there is nothing to suggest that a hardened facility exists below, a deliberate design choice intended to prevent targeting, surveillance, or accidental discovery. This level of concealment reflects the same principles used in Cold War command installations, where invisibility was as critical as strength. Beyond physical protection, the bunker symbolized operational continuity. During Bush's presidency, the ranch was not merely a retreat, but a secure command location where classified briefings, strategic discussions, and emergency coordination could occur without interruption. In practical terms, this meant the ranch could assume presidential functions instantly if traditional facilities were compromised. From a valuation perspective, the bunker adds an invisible but significant layer to the ranch's overall worth. While it does not increase resale value in conventional terms, it elevates the property into a category few private estates ever reach, one defined by national-level capability rather than luxury. The presence of such a facility underscores how power, security, and infrastructure quietly converge beneath what appears, on the surface, to be just another Texas ranch. High-tech farming, organic crops, DNA cattle, and wildlife. Above ground, far from the bunker and power systems, Prairie Chapel Ranch reveals another layer of sophistication that is less visible but just as valuable: because this land operates as a high-tech agricultural system designed to generate food, data, and long-term land value at the same time. What looks like traditional Texas farmland is, in reality, a carefully engineered operation where organic farming, genetic science, and wildlife economics work together as a single machine. The ranch runs a large-scale organic crop program that produces several thousand pounds of vegetables every year, including tomatoes, peppers, beans, and seasonal crops grown without synthetic chemicals. Instead of relying on industrial shortcuts, the operation uses crop rotation and companion planting to maintain soil fertility and control pests naturally. These methods require more planning, labor, and monitoring, but they protect soil structure and reduce long-term input costs. Agricultural consultants estimate that establishing and maintaining this organic infrastructure, including greenhouses, irrigation, and soil management systems, represents an investment of between $3 million and $5 million, a figure justified by stable yields and premium quality output. Equally advanced is the ranch's cattle operation, which blends traditional ranching with modern genetic technology. Each animal is tracked through DNA records and genetic testing, allowing precise breeding decisions that improve herd health, meat quality, and disease resistance. This data-driven approach reduces veterinary costs and improves consistency across generations of cattle. The genetic testing program, combined with specialized handling facilities and monitoring systems, is estimated to cost over $2 million, yet it transforms livestock from a commodity into a predictable, optimized asset. Cattle are managed through a rotational grazing system, where herds are moved systematically across pastures to mimic natural grazing patterns. This method allows grasslands to recover, improves soil carbon retention, and significantly reduces animal stress. Healthier soil leads to stronger grass, which in turn produces healthier cattle, creating a feedback loop that increases productivity without expanding land use. Over time, this system enhances land value itself, making the ranch more resilient to drought and climate variability. Alongside farming and ranching runs a wildlife management program that treats native animals not as obstacles, but as economic and ecological partners. Deer, turkey, quail, and other species are supported through habitat design, water access, and population control strategies. Carefully regulated hunting generates revenue while maintaining ecological balance, turning conservation into a self-financing system. Wildlife infrastructure, including ponds, native plant restoration, and monitoring, represents an additional investment of approximately $1 million. Taken together, these systems show how Prairie Chapel Ranch operates less like a farm and more like a biological enterprise, where food production, land stewardship, and scientific management combine to protect both capital and ecology. It is farming designed not for the next season, but for the next generation. Airstrip, art studio, and a $50 million economic engine. Hidden behind the quiet rhythm of cattle and crops, Prairie Chapel Ranch holds a final layer that transforms it from a private retreat into a strategic and economic powerhouse. One of its most consequential assets is a private airstrip, discreetly integrated into the Texas landscape. This runway was engineered to meet federal security standards and, during George W. Bush's presidency, was capable of supporting aircraft as large as Air Force One. Building and maintaining an airstrip of this class, including reinforced pavement, navigation systems, fuel storage, and security infrastructure, is estimated to require between $10 million and $15 million. It allowed the ranch to function as a fully operational alternative to the White House without drawing public attention. Connected to the airstrip was a presidential command center, equipped with encrypted communications, secure data lines, and independent power systems. This facility allowed Bush to remain in constant contact with military leaders and foreign heads of state while physically removed from Washington. Comparable secure command facilities typically cost several $1 million to construct and maintain, placing the ranch in a category usually reserved for government installations, not private property. Away from politics, another unexpected asset reshaped the ranch's value in a completely different direction: Bush's professional art studio. Built with museum-grade lighting, climate control, and archival storage, the studio enabled him to produce hundreds of paintings after leaving office. Several works have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars per piece, turning creativity into a legitimate revenue stream. The studio itself, combined with storage and display facilities, represents an investment of approximately $2 million, modest compared to its long-term cultural and financial return. Adjacent to the studio sits a private library and archival center containing rare books, presidential documents, personal correspondence, and historical memorabilia. Experts estimate the value of these archives at multiple millions of dollars, not only for their materials, but for their importance to historians and biographers. Unlike luxury items that depreciate, these archives gain value over time as historical relevance increases. When viewed as a whole, Prairie Chapel Ranch functions as an economic engine rather than a passive estate. It directly supports ranch staff, security teams, agricultural specialists, maintenance crews, and administrative workers, while indirectly benefiting local suppliers, contractors, and service providers. Economic studies estimate that the ranch generates over $50 million per year in regional economic impact across Central Texas. This final layer reveals the ranch's true identity. It is not just land or luxury, but a self-reinforcing system where security, culture, agriculture, and economics intersect. And with that, the story doesn't end here. Which part of this ranch surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and stay tuned, because the next episode dives even deeper into how elite estates quietly shape entire regions. After seeing every layer of George W. Bush's ranch, one thing becomes clear: true power does not always look flashy. The first lesson is that real wealth prioritizes control over resources, from energy systems that generate surplus electricity to water infrastructure capable of surviving extreme droughts without outside help. The second lesson is that long-term thinking always beats luxury spending, because this ranch was designed to function for decades, not to impress for headlines. Every system, from geothermal cooling to rotational grazing, lowers cost while increasing independence. The third lesson is that influence creates value beyond money, as this single property generates over $50 million annually for the local economy while supporting jobs, food production, and conservation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden billionaire infrastructure, hit like and subscribe for more untold stories of elite power and wealth. And stay tuned, because part 2 will reveal how presidential land holdings quietly shape entire regions of America.